The scream did not come from the dragon's mouth. It came from its eyes. They were wide, pale, and glassy, reflecting the torchlight of the slave market, as if begging the world to look away. The albino dragon lay chained in the dirt, its body swollen with grotesque growths that pulsed slowly, painfully, like something alive beneath its skin. Every breath rattled. Every movement tore flesh. And still, the crowd laughed. Laughter followed suffering easily in that city. Arender stood at the edge of the crowd, hands trembling, heart pounding like it wanted to escape his chest. He had not planned to come here. He hated the markets. He hated cages. But something had pulled him, a pressure behind the eyes, a whisper in the blood. And now that he was here, he understood why. The dragon was dying. Arender knew what dying looked like. He had seen it in his mother's eyes when the fever took her. He had seen it in his brother's body after the soldiers left him in the snow. He had seen it in his own reflection every day since. A boy who survived when he should not have. The merchant kicked the dragon's snout to make it move. "Look at it," he shouted. "A cursed thing, worthless. Anyone foolish enough to buy it deserves what comes next." Arender stepped forward. "I will buy it." The laughter stopped for a single heartbeat. Then it exploded, louder than before. With what coin, they asked. With what strength? Did he think himself a hero? Arender did not answer. He placed everything he had on the table. Coins worn smooth by years of handling. A ring that once belonged to his mother. The merchant stared, then shrugged. No refunds. Chains were unlocked. The dragon collapsed. That night, Arender dragged the dragon beyond the city, his hands blistered, his muscles screaming. He took it to a forgotten valley where broken statues lay half buried, remnants of a war no one remembered. Rain soaked them both. Blood mixed with mud. The dragon did not resist. Up close, the damage was worse. One wing hung useless. The growths were fused into muscle and bone, black veins crawling from them like roots. Arender cleaned what he could. He whispered apologies for every touch that caused pain. The dragon watched him. Days passed. Then more. Arender hunted, failed, starved, tried again. He fed the dragon before himself. When infection set in, he burned cloth to sterilize wounds. When fever came, he sang. Even though his voice cracked and failed, he told the dragon his name. He told it about his brother. Told it about the night the soldiers came and how he hid while others died. The dragon listened. Sometimes it whimpered in its sleep. Sometimes it screamed. Once it tried to crawl away, dragging its broken body until it collapsed. Arender held it then, sobbing, begging it not to give up. That was when the soldiers found them. They came with banners and blades, calling the dragon property of the crown. They called Arender a thief, a fool, a traitor. When he stood in front of the dragon, they struck him down. He tasted blood and dirt. The dragon rose, not in fury, but in fear. A pulse of light burst from its chest, throwing soldiers back. The growths cracked, leaking silver light instead of rot. The earth shook. The air screamed. The soldiers fled. Arender woke to warmth. The dragon lay beside him, smaller now, breathing steadily. One eye glowed faintly blue. It touched its forehead to his dot. Something passed between them. Understanding. The king came. Weeks later, he brought priests and mages. They spoke of prophecy. They spoke of balance. They said the dragon was never sick. It was sealed, bound to prevent it from choosing a human again. They offered Arender gold. They offered him forgiveness. They demanded the dragon. Arender said no. The battle burned the valley. Magic tore stone apart. A cursed spear pierced the dragon's chest. Arender screamed as the bond shattered, pain ripping through his soul. He crawled through fire and ash, pressing his hands to the wound. willing his life into it. The dragon roared. The seals broke completely. It rose, radiant, terrible, wings spanning the sky. The truth echoed through the land. The dragon was not a weapon. It was a judge, and it had chosen. The king fell. The dragon did not kill him. It carried Arender into the sky. Years later, people spoke of a pale dragon watching over broken places, and of a man who proved that kindness could awaken gods. The world never laughed the same again.